everyone, this is Brian from activemelody.com. Well, in this lesson we're going to take a look at part 2 of 4. So if you missed the first part, make sure you watch part 1. As always, if you need the tablature or the jam tracks to practice along with, so you learn all of this lesson, you can get that at www.activemelody.com. Let's go ahead and take a look at part 2. Alright, so let's go ahead and break down part 2. I'll go ahead and play through it with no accompaniment so that you have this as a reference. Okay, so that was pretty close to tempo, I think. And what we're doing is we're playing in the major pentatonic scale for this. Obviously you can tell that this has a different feel to it, totally different feel than what we played in the first part of the solo. It's the exact same jam track, same verse, same chord structure, but a different feel. So in the first part, we played kind of a country-ish sounding thing. And this is a somewhere between like a B.B. King and a, I don't know. It's just got a real happy kind of feel to it. But the reason it has that feel is, well, I wanted to include it something different so that you can realize that you could take the same jam track and you can make the song have a totally different feel depending on what you play. So you see the importance of your solo and how that can really color the song. And so just as a reference, for those of you that have the blues lead course, which is available at activemelody.com, or have access to that, you know that I have that course split into patterns. There's 5 different patterns that you can learn when you're learning to play lead. Now that course is assuming the minor pentatonic scale. And what I just said when we do this is that's the major pentatonic scale. Well, so I'm sure a lot of you are going, well, hang on, what is that? How do I get to the major pentatonic scale? Rule of thumb is, for the most part, this is true, you can take everything in the minor pentatonic scale, no matter which key you're in, and shift everything this way on the neck, 3 frets. So for those of you that are familiar with pattern 4, for the key of A, what we're doing is we're shifting it down 1, 2, 3. And now we have the major pentatonic scale. So you take that same pattern, and now it sounds happy because we're in a different key. That's a hard concept for a lot of people to get, but just wanted to start with that. So anyway, that's the first thing that happens. Now I'm starting on the 11th fret, middle finger. And then I'm going to come up, 11th fret, sorry, 3rd string with the middle finger. Then I'm going to come up to the 12th fret with my ring finger, and I'm going to play the 2nd string, and I'm going to do a full bend. So it's, and I do 2 or 3 of them where I'll go. And notice what I'm doing there is I'm bending, and then I'm releasing the tension on the string, then I'm bending it again, releasing the tension. Now that's going to depend on the sustain or the effect. If you in the intro I was playing a little heavier sound, so I had a little more sustain than I do now. But you can do that even with an acoustic guitar. You might need to use a lighter gauge string if you're doing a full bend like that, but you could do that. You may want to, if you don't have the sustain, like if you are on an acoustic, you may want to pick it each time instead of letting it just ring. You could go. Okay, but either way, it's 2 or 3 of those. And then what I do is I go, and what I'm doing there, notice that I'm picking it once. So it's a bend, a release, and then I'm flicking the string, or I'm doing a pull off with my ring finger. And I'm landing here on the 10th fret, 2nd string. Now notice my pointer finger just sort of naturally stays there. It knows that that's part of that pattern, and it just kind of stays there in case it's needed. It's a muscle memory thing. Notice it's already there. And I just kind of, if I'm playing in that pattern, I just sort of keep it there so I can go. All those licks, that finger just sort of stays rooted. It knows its place. And so, again, there's a release of a bend and a pull off. Then we come back to, so we play that note to re-emphasize it, the 10th fret, 2nd string, 3rd string, 11th fret with my middle finger. Actually, it's a hammer on. To the 12th fret, so I'm hammering on from the 10th fret to the 12th fret on the 2nd string, and then back to the 10th fret, 2nd string. So altogether, that first part is. Okay, and just practice that. You know, you could take that whole jam track, and if you don't get any other part of the solo, if you're struggling, if you're a new guitar player, you could have so much fun just with that. Just repeat it. Maybe throw in a different, do it forwards, do it backwards. But there's a lot of music that can be made just from that little thing that we just did there. All right, so then I come to this little run that goes. And that's actually not that difficult. It sounds harder than it is. What I'm doing is I'm on the 9th fret 4th string with my pointer finger. Then I'm going to come up to the 11th fret 4th string with my ring finger. I'm going to bounce back and forth between those two a little bit, those two frets. Then we're back to the 9th fret 3rd string. Then we're back to the 11th fret 4th string. Now here's that old technique that I showed you in the previous lesson. Hopefully you've watched that, where I take my ring finger and I push it down to bar really the first 4 strings. That's how I do it, even though you're only going to be playing strings 4 and 3. So you're going to play strings 4, 3, and 4, but you're doing it all here on the 11th fret. And so in context, this is what that looks like. So just practice that. Then we're going to come back to the 9th fret, 3rd string, then back to the 11th fret, 3rd string. Then we're going to come up and play these two notes. And I'm playing the 10th fret 2nd string with my pointer finger, and I'm playing the 11th fret 3rd string with my middle finger. And we've already played those. Those are the first two notes, or well, this was the first note, but those were a part of that first pattern that we learned there in this lesson. So. All right, so let's try that slowly. Just remember when you get to the top and you play those last two notes, that you shift and you play that with your your pointer finger on the 10th fret 2nd string, and then your middle finger there on the 11th fret 3rd string. Okay, let's back up and we'll play the whole thing slowly up to that point. Now what we're going to do here is, after that, is we're going to go. Okay, so after that, we're going to come back to the 10th fret, this time the 2nd string, 12th fret 2nd string. So, and then once we get to the 12th fret and play that 12th fret 2nd string, we're going to bend. We're going to do a full bend on the 12th fret. And while you're bending that, go ahead and put your pointer finger down on the 10th fret 1st string so that you can play that note. And it has kind of a clash sound when you hear it slowly. especially with a little distortion. But that's, I think it's got kind of a nice effect. Then keep that bend, so when you push the bend on the 12th fret second string, hold it so that you can hit that note, and then hit it again and let the tension out of it. So it's okay. And then once you release it, take your pointer finger and come down here to the 10th fret second string again. Then we're going to go back to the 11th fret third string. There's that hammer on again between the 10th fret and the 12th fret on the second string. So it's just a hammer onto the 12th, and then back to the 10. All right, let me do that whole little last run. I'll do it slowly. Okay, so here's everything up to that point. All right, and now after that we have this thing that goes, and I love that. A lot of that, what's going to make that part of it is going to be your vibrato, and I'm really just kind of hanging out here on the 10th fret second string. And you can see the way that I do vibrato. The way I do it is the wrist is actually locked. I know some people do it with their wrist, but I'm doing it more here. And it's just how I learned to do it. There's all kinds of different ways you can do it. But anyway, try and make some kind of vibrato, shake the string. And while you're shaking it, you're going to come up here and you're just going to grab the 12th fret first string, and I do it with my ring finger and play like this. So that's the note. Notice the picking hand, it's down, up, down, up, down. Okay, and then after I did that twice, then I go. And so for that, it's pretty easy. It's just 12. This is the first string. We're on the 12, 11, 10. And then we come back and we do that little. We do that little thing where we push the string, we release the tension, and do a pull off. So you go push it up, release, pull off. And then when you do your pull off, you're going to go ahead and do a hammer on to the third string on the 11th fret. And then we'll go ahead and play the 10th fret second string. Okay, so all right, and that's what that sounds like. Now let's back up. We'll do the whole thing. I'll do it. I'll do two versions. Do a fast one and I'll do a slow one. Here's the fast, or here's the up to tempo one. Okay, and here's the slow version. after that, I go. And for that, I'm hitting twice there on the 10th fret, 2nd string. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my ring finger. It's important to do this with your ring finger because you're sliding yourself into position. Ring finger on the 2nd string, 12th fret. That's where we started. And then we're going to slide up to the 14th fret, 2nd string. So we're starting on the 12th fret, 2nd string, sliding up to the 14. Then we're going to take our pointer finger, put it back on the 12th fret, 1st string. Ring finger back on the 14th fret, this time on the 1st string. So. Then after that, I'm going to make this big jump, and I know you pinky fanatics would do that with your pinky, but I don't use my pinky very often. So what I'm going to do is take my ring finger and jump up here to the, gosh, what is that, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17th fret on the 1st string. Just like that. And then I'm going to come back and play the 14th fret 1st string, this time with my pointer finger. And then I'm going to take my middle finger and I'm going to just go ahead and jump down to the 3rd string, and this would be on the 16th fret. And I'm going to do a bend and a release, and then come down to the 14th fret, 14th fret 3rd string for the final note. Okay, so that last little part, here's what it sounds like slowly. All right, so that's all of part 2. Let me go ahead and play the whole thing slowly so that you have it as a reference, and that'll conclude this. So. And there you have it. That's part 2. This is part 2 of 4. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you like me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/ActiveMelody. It's a great way that we can stay in touch. I'm also on Twitter, twitter.com. You can follow me there, twitter.com/ActiveMelody. Or you can join the community over at activemelody.com. There's a forum, and obviously a lot of great help there, and all of my lessons. I have them all in one place. So if you go there and you want to know where this lesson is in context to the others in this little lesson series, you're going to look for EP018. That's the name, that's the number. Episode 18 is what that stands for. So make sure you look for that, and I'll have all 4 parts on the same page as I release them. And you can also download the tablature and jam tracks, so you have all those assets to help you practice. So hopefully you've had a good time in this lesson, and we'll see you in the next one.